Welcome back, True Crime Junkies. We have another jaw dropping case this week. So, growing up, I was taught that police officers are supposed to protect and serve. But in 1995 in New Orleans, one officer decided that meant protecting her own wallet and serving up chaos. So, what started as a routine visit to a quiet Vietnamese restaurant quickly turned into a deadly disaster, with a cop and her unlikely sidekick pulling off a crime that left everyone asking, aren't they supposed to stop these kind of things? So, spoiler, the badge wasn't the only thing she ditched that night. I'm your host, Tiffany.
And I'm your co-host Willie. Let's get her done.
So, it's around 9 p.m. on Friday, March 3rd, 1995, in New Orleans, Louisiana. Antoinette Frank was getting off work as a police officer for the city of New Orleans. She went home after her shift, she changed clothes before she left back out and headed to the Kim An restaurant. She would moonlight there as a security guard off duty at the time. And she went in to ask if they needed some assistance for the evening. But she was told that her fellow officer, Officer Ronald Williams, was working that evening and her services weren't needed. So she left and went on about her evening. She picked up her boyfriend, Rogers LaCaze, and drove back to the Kim An restaurant. She came in alone and asked for cold drinks for her and her nephew, who was in the car. Mind you, we said that was her boyfriend. Now he's her nephew. Now she didn't just work at the restaurant, but she was considered family to the Vus. Like we said, they were a Vietnamese family who owned the restaurant. And she spoke to Officer William in the owner Nugget view, and she told them that she was going to a midnight movie and left with the drinks. So that night business was kind of slow, so the family decided to close early. And Mrs. Vu left early, and she left her four children, Chow, Ha, Kwok, and Kong Vu, as well as one of the helpers too, to clean up.
Yeah, these names is about to be brutal. 15 minutes later, Antoinette called into the restaurant and ordered food. She said her and her nephew missed the movie. So shortly after, Antoinette and Rogers came into the restaurant and they were the only customers. So they decided to let's go ahead and sit down and eat. The pair left before finishing their food and they stood outside talking for a bit. Since the restaurant was empty, Child locked the door and went to finish cleaning. She then looked up and Antoinette was at the door rattling the doorknob and shouting. Child got nervous. So she grabbed that money that she made that day and went and hid in the microwave. She saw the evil in that broad eyes. Think about it. You know what I'm saying? Why would if you a cop, if she's a cop and you hear her jingling on the door and the first thing you think is let me hide this money, she had to be looking crazy. So next thing
Yeah.
you know, after that, yeah, you feel me? So next thing you know, after
Uh-huh.
that, huh?
Yeah, like I said, you think that's the first thing you do is go hide the money.
Yeah,
Like,
why?
why
I
would
mean,
you?
and she a cop. That's the crazy part, though. She's a cop, and that's the first thing. Oh shit! Let me hide this money. Hide your kids. Next thing you know, Antoinette is in the restaurant, which is odd because the door was just locked. Remember, he locked the door. She locked the doors. She then pushed Chow and told her that they needed to speak in the back. So Chow
Speak
must know
now
something was
what?
going on. You see that? Yeah. She
Mhm.
also tried to grab Child's brother, Quack. So Officer Williams, who was behind the bar, stepped out, and that's when gunshots rang. Antoinette ran back to the front of the restaurant, and Chow and Quack ran into the kitchen into a cooler area. They told their siblings to follow, but for some reason they decided not to. The helper too also hid in the cooler. They man Chinese, they be having the craziest name. Chok Quack too.
It's not crazy. It's just not culturally
I know
normal.
that's just yeah. It's just yeah. It's just yeah. This the names just be just weird. Just yeah. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
So Antoinette and Rogers were looking for the money from that day. So more gunshots go off. Antoinette shot and killed both Ha and Chong. So the pair then flee the scene, and Antoinette drops Rogers off at his brother's apartment building and decide to circle back to the restaurant. I mean, she is a cop, so she needs to cover her tracks. So Chow and Kwok waited a bit before coming out of the freezer. They found their siblings shot execution style in a pool of blood. Officer Williams had also been shot and killed. So Chow called 911 at 1:48 a.m. and Kwok ran out of the restaurant and also called 911 from a friend's home. His call came in at 1:50 a.m. So Officer Wayne Favre and Reginald Jock arrived at the scene at 1:52 a.m. Antoinette just so happened to beat the police officers back to the restaurant. So Officer Favre went around to the back while Officer Jock checked out the front when Antoinette runs out the door. She said, "There's an injured officer in here." So Favre goes and checks on the victims, and at this time, another officer pulls up, and this is Officer Yvonne Favre. So she's Wayne Favre's wife. So they both work on the force.
Okay.
So Chow runs out of the restaurant and she runs straight to Officer Yvonne. Like she's hysterical. I mean, of course, you just heard your siblings getting killed.
Yeah.
So she runs out of the restaurant and she's hysterical and she's speaking in Vietnamese because she's just so discombobulated. So she runs up. Antoinette actually runs up to her and asks her where her siblings were hiding and what happened to her other brother and sister. So child like, hold on a minute, bitch, I fucking speak English. She was like, you were there, you know everything, so why would you ask me that?
Oh, that's crazy. She's like, "I ain't no one, ain't no." Oh, wait, hold on, slow, dog, no, no, you know what happened. But that's and why would you? What would make you think that? Ah, damn, the crimes and the ignorance involved in them. So, Officer Ronald Austin Williams II, rest in heaven, was born June 8th, 1969 in New Orleans, Louisiana. He was an officer on the force for 4 years before his death. He was survived by his wife and two young children. One for sure was the son. Unfortunately, we don't have information on the other one. So Chong Vu, rest in heaven, was born in 1976. Not much information was known. He was an altar boy at the St. Bridget Church and had aspirations to become a priest, and he was 17 years old. Um, Hava, Hava, that is
Woo.
Havu. Okay, Havu. Rest in heaven to her. Also, was born in 1972. Not much information was known. Unfortunately, she was considering becoming a nun. And she was 24. That's damn. You got a altar boy. You know what I'm saying? That probably would get molested. That decided he wanted to end up being a priest. Good kid. And then you had the young girl who wanted to become a nun, and both of them was killed. That's crazy.
I hate you. I really do. So
Oh man.
Antoinette Frank, she was born April 30th of 1971. Her parents were Mary and Adam Frank Sr., and she grew up in Opelousas, Louisiana,
Oh, you
a
said
very
it.
small
Okay.
town. What'd you say?
No, I said you said it right. Go ahead, girl.
Oh, I don't know. I never heard of it. So, just off topic for a minute, this is also the hometown of David Bowie. Wasn't he like in that movie? Remember the wedding singer with Drew Barrymore and Adam Sandler? That's who that
Who?
was.
No, David Bowie was the white dude. He made that song Fame. Du, 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 du. He had married to the black supermodel.
Okay, no,
You
nothing.
don't know
Okay,
he was look,
nothing. Wrong
one
person.
of my favorite movies he was in called Labyrinth. You don't know David Bowie?
Guess not.
Ah, damn.
So,
Okay.
anywho, Opelousas is predominantly black, almost 80%, and the poverty rate is extremely higher than the rest of the country. It's also the spice and music capital of Louisiana. Just some fun random facts there.
Hmm.
And her family later moved to the city of New Orleans. They said her father was extremely abusive physically and sexually, and that the physical abuse started around the age of 2. She had several siblings, one of which we know is a brother, Adam Jr., and her father, Adam Frank Sr., was a Vietnam vet who had PTSD and was possibly a victim of incestuous abuse himself. So he was prescribed antipsychotics, and at one point it was recommended that the children be removed from the household, but nothing was ever done.
I stop right there. That's so when I say the system be failing and then it just caused a domino effect of trauma.
Mhm.
You know what I'm
Yep.
saying? Like that's just
Yep.
so yeah, the system fails. I wonder do that go on. I wonder does this go on in white households also? Or is that just in black households?
No, it does. I mean, you hear about white kids being beaten and they, run up and become serial killers. So I mean, yeah.
I know, no, I get yes. White people are crazy. Yeah, but what I'm saying is we hear so many cases of the what's it called? Children's service, CSI, whatever it's called, where
CPS.
CPS, yes, I said CSI, right. Where they, see a situation going on, and rather than address it, they just leave it be, and then here you go, now you got a psychotic ass cop going around and murdering innocent Chinese kids.
Yeah, they were Vietnamese.
It's all the same. Go ahead.
They said at one point it was alleged that he would beat his wife as well, and he would leave booby traps around the house. They said he was prone to violent fits of rage, and he would allegedly disconnect gas lines from the appliances and fill the house with gas. Like he was trying to kill them for real.
Who does that? Imagine you walking down the stairs and a string just comes out of they be having little
Like
strings.
Home Alone, like
Yeah,
you in
exactly.
Home Alone.
This dude do the booby traps. Ah, niggas is sick, man. Damn.
But I'm saying like you filled the house with gas. Like you was like I'm not sure me saying that can cause like brain damage as well.
And I'm assuming I would hope that after that day they left, right? But no.
No,
I can pretty much guarantee that didn't happen.
no. So then they said it was even alleged that he would drive the family to railroad crossings and threaten to kill them all.
Oh, this nigga sick.
I mean, they say he was on antipsychotics, so that would have been crushing that man's meds up and putting him in his food.
Yeah, I mean, I'm
The
dead serious, yeah, on
Yes,
everything.
no, dead serious. It's like that's crazy. Like you don't even know if you're gonna live or die from day to day, and that's in your own home where you're supposed to feel safe.
He doing booby traps. Surprise, bitch.
So the rape Antoinette endured went on into early adulthood. She had three abortions starting at the age of 16. So her mother ends up leaving her father, and she took the three siblings, but she left Antoinette with her daddy.
Damn, so the mama got problem. Why would you?
Exactly.
Oh man, I swear, man. It's
Like
something in
you
that
take
water.
three out of your four kids. If I'm leaving, I'm taking all
I'm
my
taking
kids.
all my kids, and the fact that she said that she had 3 abortions starting at 16, so she was busting it open at a young age.
Yeah, he was raping her from a young age. Like how traumatized. Like she's clearly
Do you think the abortions were from him?
they were from him. I said he was sexually. Here's another episode of Willie not paying attention.
No, no, no. In my defense, no. You said it was sexually assaulting her, but I didn't know. I was wondering. It never did anything. Was there anything that said that the abortion were from him? She could have been. Usually, when children are sexually assaulted,
Become
they
promiscuous at
freaks,
a young age.
huh?
You saying they become promiscuous at a young
Yeah,
age?
yeah. That's what I was saying. So that's what I was assuming. So no, I was paying attention this
No.
time. Oh
Yes,
damn,
no. They were
she got
those
pregnant
were
by
her
her
dad's
daddy.
kids.
God
And
damn
I
it,
don't
baby coming
understand,
out
like,
with
how can you
18
touch on your
toes.
child? Like, that
Oh.
is disgusting. Like, how do you look at your child in a sexual manner?
I mean, and there's no justification whatsoever. I mean, they said the nigga was psychotic. So, I mean, maybe he did not view her as a child. I don't know. I mean, there's no justification for that. You know what I'm saying? I'm not even gonna make a joke about him raping her because again, that's disgusting. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, God, that's yeah.
That's
That's
horrible.
yeah.
And then, like I said, for her mom to literally leave her
Yeah,
behind,
her
like
mom
you
ain't shit.
traded like you and your siblings' lives for your daughter's life. Is that how it was? Like, okay, well, if you let me leave, I'll let you have her. Like, what type of fucked up ass parents did you have?
Yeah, she ain't shit. I'm feeling yeah. But what did you get her information? Because I need to look her up too.
Well,
So if I ever
she might
down
have
in New if
passed
I,
on.
and then whenever we go down to New Orleans and everything, if I find out who she is,
Well, her mother may have passed on at this time. I don't know. I
yeah,
don't know. She may have passed on.
we're rest in piss. No offense, but real talk. Go ahead.
So she attempted suicide three times, and all attempts were unsuccessful. But she had always dreamed of becoming a police officer. You know, she wanted to feel protected, wanted to protect others how she didn't feel protected at home.
Yeah, because you gotta be a
So,
crazy, psychotic, sick motherfucker to want to be a police officer nowadays. I mean, just in general. I'm sorry, I feel like that.
so in high school, she was part of the Explorer Post, which was a teen program for aspiring police officers. She had also volunteered as a clerk at a local police station before she applied to become an officer, and she applied on her 21st birthday. So
Okay.
she's on her way. No, she's not. Because she failed two standard psych evaluations, and the psychiatrist advised against hiring her. Okay?
Oh,
They
but
said
they
don't
don't. Yeah,
hire her.
yeah, but yeah, they don't. They don't pay attention to that. Them the ones they hire first. So you trying to tell me they got mental problem? Yeah, go ahead, put them on the force. Yeah.
The
Mm.
psychiatrist specifically said, do not hire her. So what did she do? She got her own psych eval done by a private psychiatrist who gave her a glowing recommendation.
And they
Nobody found her
accepted that.
suspicious.
Wow. That's just
Nobody found
yeah.
her suspicious.
Yeah. And they accepted that, huh? So she didn't hire, you know what I'm saying, whoever just to say that she ain't got problems and they accepted it.
Basically, yep. So at the time, the New Orleans Police Department was extremely short staffed due to officers being paid less than other cities, and the department was falling apart due to drug activity and arrests within. So, also, if you weren't a resident of New Orleans, you couldn't be a police officer in New Orleans. So, that was another reason that they were so short
They said
staffed.
they said they're paying them niggas with gumbo and shrimp at one point.
I work for Gumbo and Shrimp.
Yeah, yeah, that's it. You know what? And I believe that, right? You know what I'm saying? And that right there, this is where I'm gonna put this in this song right here. Big bag, big bag, big bag, big bag. Yeah, my bag is loaded up with snacks and different foods. Okay, go ahead.
So this rule about you being an actual resident to apply was not lifted until 2014. So the NOPD thought it would be a good look to hire more blacks, to kind of help ease the tension between residents and police, which makes sense because generally we know that black people are not fond of the police. So, that they're thinking, okay, if we, it'll make things a little bit better. Maybe they'll open up to us when a crime is committed.
Yeah, but that's I mean, I can see the thinking, but that's crazy though, because then you end up hiring people that are not qualified
Qualified,
just to
yes.
fill a position. So you got, yeah, s- sickos like her. Oh, jeez. This is
So
about to get
Antoinette
good.
graduated at the top of her academy class on February 28th of 1993. It was said that she
That's
was shy.
no offense. Who the fuck was in that class? That's what I want to know. If she graduated at the time, who was in that class? Bobby Cuts had to be one of them. By the way, Bobby Cuts is an episode that we did, so check it out.
So it was said that she was shy and she really had no idea what police work really involved. She lacked decisiveness to be a good police officer. In
But
addition to
she
that,
graduated from the top of her class.
I mean, I guess she tested well. I'm guessing she tested well.
I
And
don't yeah, yeah.
they also said she had irrational behavior. But y'all just kept y'all see all these red flags, but you keep going. Like what they say, you see the train coming, but you just still gonna keep rolling.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. Just ignoring red flags, man. Remind me of you and your baby daddy. Go ahead, get finished.
I
Oh,
can't
you caught
stand you.
that.
I caught that one this time. Yes, I caught that. So it was said that Antoinette's father would literally drop her off and pick her up daily from the academy. Now, mind you, she's a grown woman,
And
and
he
her
was raping
daddy,
her.
yes, is picking her up and dropping her off. So I'm assuming the
What is that?
rape.
What is that? Yeah, what was that called again? It's something syndrome you mentioned. Stockholm, is that Stockholm syndrome or no? That would
I mean, it honestly it probably could. Well, Stockholm syndrome is where the abused person starts to empathize and sympathize with their abuser, and they believe what their abuser says. So I mean, she probably did have a
yeah,
touch of
could
that.
I mean, yeah, but I mean, yeah, that would be to have this man picking you up and dropping you off. So, yeah, so I mean, it's some type of syndrome. Yeah, definitely some type of syndrome.
Yeah. So in August of 1993, and this is just 6 months after she graduated from the academy, her supervisors, why can't I say the word today? Goodness, wanted her to return back for further training. So 6 months later, they like, maybe you need more training. Maybe you shouldn't be a police officer. How about
Okay,
that?
so she lacked decisiveness, right?
Mm-hmm.
She did not know what police really did.
Mm-hmm.
She had irrational behavior. Know
Mm-hmm.
what I'm saying? She was a lunatic because she felt two of her psych evals. She hired, know what I'm saying? She hired the same nigga that's a fry cook, know what I'm saying, at one of the local rib shops to do her psych eval, and he gave her glowing reviews, and they sent her back to get more training. Nothing. That let you know how bad it must have been down there for police officers. And they still was like, we got to keep her. That's why I want to be a police officer, because you could do whatever the hell you want and they will never fire you. I mean, they're serious. The episode with Ricky, which is episode 10, I mean, episode 11.
11.
11.
Mm-hmm.
I got it right. Make sure you
Yep.
guys check that out. That was one when I made that comment with Rick. I said we should be police officer because they let this for prime example of that. They let you they see that she's not qualified, but rather than firing her, they just gonna keep on pushing her through the system.
Yeah. Like, I mean, but my thing is, she failed two psych evals. Two, not one,
No,
two.
but you missed the bigger issue is she did not know what cops did. She had no idea what police work really involved. What are you? How you dream of being a cop since you was in high school, but you don't know what the hell they do?
Apparently, she ain't do her research.
No. Oh, we saw crimes. Oh shit, I didn't know that.
She probably got to the crime scene like, okay, so what's going on here? What do we
Yeah,
do?
exactly. So what do I do? What
Like,
do
you
I
mean
do
take
here?
notes? Like, what you mean to do? What do I do? They're like, "Ma'am, there's a body here. We need to find out
No.
who left it here."
Hey, look, she get the crowd like, oh shit, I think we need to call the police. Like, bitch, you is the police. Oh yeah, yeah, that's right, that's
"Oh,
right,
my bad, my
that's
bad."
right, that's right. So if you were the police, what would you do right now? All right, go ahead, my bad.
Okay, so but look, she managed to win Officer of the Month from the local Kiwanis Club for community work. Mhm. Yep. See? She was doing something good. She was doing some good work in the community.
Officer of the probably was February when she did it.
So, when Antoinette had gotten situated with her job, she thought it'd be a good idea to let her father move into her apartment with her.
Mm.
So,
Yeah, Stockholm syndrome. I bet you.
but mysteriously, he disappeared in 1993. So she filed a missing persons report.
That's okay. She probably called the police. Hey, my father, bitch. What should I do? Like, bitch, you the police. Oh yeah, yeah, that's right, that's right. All right.
Hey, my
So
bad. Never mind. I got this. All right.
yeah,
I'll talk
yeah,
to y'all
yeah.
later.
So if that was your father, what would you do? Oh my God, Jesus. As for Roger LaCaze, he was
Wait, let
born
me
on
let me pause you for just a second.
yes.
Why is that man named Rogers? Like, why is there an S on his name? Who named you? I've never heard a man named Rogers. Like, I've heard it's a last name, but why is there an S on your first name?
That's a good question. I don't know. I don't know. Rogers. I don't know. As for Rod, maybe that's a thing in New Orleans. I don't know. I'll ask somebody. I don't know nobody in New Orleans. As for Rogers LaCasse, he was born August 13th, 1976. So he was several years younger than Antoinette. His mother, Alice, raised him as a single mother, along with two siblings. He was the middle child. He was born in New Orleans, Louisiana. He also didn't grow up with much. He fathered two or three children by the time he was 18, and he was 18 at the time of this case. So keep that in mind. So he did what he had to do to take care of his family. He sold crack. He took over for his brother who had been paralyzed after being shot. So I guess his brother owned a successful crack selling business, and once he was paralyzed, he took over the family business. It was denied, but believed that the two met on November 25th, 1994, when Rogers had been shot, and Antoinette came to the hospital to get his statement. So apparently, Antoinette took a liking to Rogers and wanted to help him get his life on track. She wanted to give him wanted him to get his GED, get on the right track. She would buy him gifts, clothes, and even try to get him a job. She was trying to get him to stop hustling and put him on to one of the dealers he was working for. That dealer was working with the 7th District Police as an informant. Once she was spotted dropping Rogers off at a job interview in her squad car.
Dumb
Man,
and Dumber.
god damn, this I mean, oh Lord, that a police station or they just didn't care. But you know how that goes. A tainted fruit will taint the good fruit, and then they will both rot. And that is what seemingly happened in this case. There were a few incidents where the bad girl started showing on, like, for example, one occasion, Antoinette responded to the scene of a car accident. Now, the witnesses said that there was a black man that rode in the front seat of her squad car. She even told him to get out and get in the driver's seat and move the car. So she didn't chauffeuring this nigga around in a police car. But
So
the
what is
stuff
she
over
doing
there,
all day? You just riding around with like, oh,
she
like
don't
that's
know.
your
Remember, she don't know what cops do. So she probably just driving around all day. Yes, she probably just literally probably just drive around all day, just doing nothing. That's it. Niggas is running lights. She ain't paying no attention. Know what I'm saying? They were also spotted in Walmart together. Oh, so let me back it up. That's the same day. Remember the day that she told him to get out and move the car? They said that she had this dude directing traffic.
you guys have a random man outside directing traffic looking like a goddamn crackhead out there
Yes,
just directing traffic.
this nigga is in some platinum FUBU, you know what I'm saying, directing traffic with a police vest on. So they were also spotted in Walmart together inquiring about cartridges for a 9mm gun. Other officers would see Rogers riding with Antoinette. She would simply introduce him as a trainee. It was also alleged that the pair would ride motorists while she was on duty. So even the co-workers didn't care. Now you know damn well there was no trainee. You know what I'm saying? You know, like with my
And
job,
plain clothes.
you know they ain't no trainee. You know what I'm saying? In plain clothes. So on another occasion, February of 1995, not long before the murders, two men claimed they met Rogers at a party. Their names were John Stevens and Anthony Wallace. The men said that they were leaving an argument started between Rogers and John, but his friend Anthony convinced him to leave. The men got in the car and they drove off. So not long after that, they got pulled over by a police car. And guess who the police officer was? Antoinette with her trusty sidekick Rogers in a platinum FUBU clothes. So Antoinette told the men to get out of the car and go around to the back of their car. Roger pops out with a gun, and Anthony and Rogers get to tussling, and then the gun goes off. Bam! John dipped and left Anthony to his own devices. I can't even knock him. You know what I'm saying?
Like
I
the
don't ride
police
for the
standing
car.
here, I ain't going down for this shit. He was like, he went
And
ghost.
then yes, yes. A bystander walks up and grabs both Rogers and Anthony. Antoinette steps in because you know she's the law around here and stops the man because so she tells him that Rogers is the good guy and she ends up arresting Anthony after backup arrived. He ended up being charged with attempted murder and armed robbery. So the question is, I know they were yelling like, "No, we got into it with this dude and he popped out and all that," and they still arrested
But
him.
but she again, her stupid ass just standing there looking. You
That's
the police, they so the dude probably like, man, aren't you the police? Why aren't you? Why are you not? Like, can you imagine like two people just fighting and like the police just standing right there just
But
staring
she
at
just
them like,
yeah, I thought she didn't know what to do as a police officer. She really had no idea what to do. I was like, so somebody gonna break this shit up? What's going on? Oh shit. Anyway, yep.
she thought, oh shit. So we're gonna go back to the crime scene.
All right.
So after Antoinette had dropped off Rogers and came back to the restaurant, because remember, after they committed these murders, she leaves and drops Rogers off. So she comes back, she circled around like she didn't heard it on like her, police scanner or something that happened. Um, and when Chow called her ass out, Antoinette very poorly tried to defend herself.
How
First,
do
she
you
told
do yourself?
she the bitch clearly is not the brightest bulb in the box.
Yes, I just yes. I would love to been there. I mean, it was a gruesome crime. I can only imagine. But just to see the look on her face, or this, yes, to see how she tried to talk her way out of it. I would love to
So
see.
first, she told the other officers that she had been outside the restaurant at the time of the shooting. So remember, she had already came back like she wasn't there, and then she changed her story and she said that she was inside the restaurant at the time of the shooting and that there was a masked gunman and that she helped the children escape out the back door. First of all, she already called your ass out. They know they like
They probably just look at her like, "Come on, man."
like just to, like they said they're like, man, this bitch over here bullshitting. So, but there was only one problem with that story about her helping the kids escape out the back door. When checked, the back door was locked.
Mm.
You don't even have the facts. So, and if she was there when everything was going down, again, she's a police officer. Why did you not do anything? Why
She
didn't
had
you
no
call
I
for
probably didn't know
backup?
she had to call up. She probably didn't know who to call. She didn't know.
She's gonna call Ghostbusters.
Exactly. That shit like, God, she didn't that they probably believed her for a second because they knew she didn't know what to do, how to be a police officer. So they probably for a second would believe her, like, well, maybe, look, we talk about this crazy bitch all the time. She probably didn't realize that she had to call us or that she was a police officer herself.
I'm saying it was like, who you gonna call? Ghostbusters. Like, that's all I
Ghostbusters.
can think about.
Damn. Oh man, go ahead.
So, they also know that there were a set of keys missing. And remember, Trong said she saw her outside and she was banging on the front door, and then somehow she managed to get inside of a locked door. So, I mean, I don't believe she Houdini or like she a ghost that can walk through walls. So,
Yeah, that's probably. I mean, she probably thought Chow saw them keys and probably knew something was up. That's why she like had the money. So she was arrested and taken down to the station where she tried her best to get out of the mess that she put herself in. She even told Rod. She even threw Rogers under the bus, which you already knew that was gonna happen. Now she
mm,
admitted to shooting Chow and Ha. strong and high. However, she claimed that Rogers held a gun to her head, forcing her to kill the two. So around 3:30 a.m., police went to the apartment of Michael LaCaze and arrested Rogers. Not Roger, but Rogers. It was said that when they arrived, he was chilling on the couch in a pair of silk boxers. Just you didn't went and murder people and you just in your silk drawers chilling. He was arrested and taken down to the station for questioning. And around 5 a.m., he gave a verbal and tape statement placing him inside of the restaurant during the shooting, but he insisted he never fired a gun or killed anyone. Notice they said around 3:30 they went to his apartment. This nigga gave up all the information by 5 a.m.
Yeah, that was really quick. I didn't even
I
catch
mean,
that.
yeah, they didn't even time to offer that dude no gumbo and a Pepsi.
He just came in and was like, fuck it. Okay, I was there, but I ain't did nothing.
You're like, yeah, mind, yeah. The money and the murder weapon were never recovered.
So both Rogers and Antoinette were indicted by Orleans Parish grand jury on 3 counts of first-degree murder and armed robbery on April 28th of 1995. Their trials were separated, and Rogers went to trial first on July 17th of 1995. His trial lasted only 5 days, and Rogers did testify on his own behalf. He got up there and he said that Antoinette had dropped him off at his girlfriend's house. So, bitch, you a side bitch too. All right. That evening after they went to the restaurant for the first time to get something to drink. He then said his brother called him asking him if he wanted to go play pool, and he got picked up around 12:30 a.m. His brother then picked up his friend Angela and they went to Mr. C's pool hall and stayed until around 2 a.m. They dropped Angela off and he went back to his brother's house until the police came and picked him up. He completely denied being involved and insisted that his oral and tape statements to the police were due to threats and coercion, which that's plausible, could have happened.
Impossible. So Roger's brother Michael also took the stand and corroborated his brother's alibi. But Angela, she said, "Oh hell no, I'm not getting caught up in y'all bullshit." And she did not corroborate either man's story. So Mr. C, the pool hall owner, also testified at court. He was like, "Man, I didn't see that dude at the pool hall that night. Now I did see Michael, but I didn't see them. I didn't see Roger. Oh, I'm sorry, Rogers." So phone records also did not corroborate his testimony either. Rogers' defense attorney tried to pin the murders on Antoinette brother Adam. The defense brought up that Adam had outstanding warrants for attempted manslaughter, but that was quickly thrown out. Now that's the crazy part. Excuse me. Her brother got attempted murder charges. She's a police.
The whole family just fucked up.
God diggity dog. So they quickly threw that out because the Voos knew Adam very well. He would hang around the restaurant when Antoinette was working. And remember, he was like part of the family. Remember, they said that she was like part of the family. Unfortunately, the surviving victims didn't see who shot and killed their siblings, so they could not definitively say that he was the shooter. But he was, in fact, there. The only one gun there was only one gun that was used in the murders, right? So it was only one. Whoever shot with one person wasn't like they used two different guns. What also tore Rogers' case was that a few weeks after the murders, Officer Williams' wife called in to report charges on his credit card. The charges were made at a Chevron station, and the cashier identified Michael as the man who used the credit card.
So you stupid. So you know your brother. You didn't got your brother caught the fuck up because your brother committed this crime because went up there and testified or corroborated his story.
Hmm.
You take a dead man's credit card and try and use it. I
Again,
know it's
I
the
yeah.
90s, but it's still a paper trail.
I mean, yeah, I mean, if it's a 90, but I mean, around that time they can trace and they had video cameras and they could trace things. So that ain't no excuse. I don't That's horrible. So Ms. View and officer so look, so the jury deliberated for 79 minutes. 79
79
minutes.
minutes.
Yeah, that was actually about the same amount of time it took for Rogers to go ahead and snitch about the whole situation. And they came back with a unanimous guilty plea. During the sentencing phase, his mother, both baby mamas, and his pastor spoke on his behalf. Rogers pled with the jury to spare his life. He admitted to being with Antoinette, but still firm on he never pulled a trigger. Ms. Vu and Officer Williams' wife spoke during the victim impact statement, and the jury came back with a unanimous recommendation for the death penalty. The fry, let them fry, let them fry.
So why they always gonna get a pastor? Why you be having them pastors up there lying like that?
Yeah, that's what I said. If I
That
was a
pastor
pilot,
knew you was
yeah,
out there selling dope, and you knew they killed that man. Why you
yeah.
go get a pastor? Because he a man, a guy? We supposed to believe him? See that?
Hey,
That
look, about to say, don't ask me to be a pastor because I'd be like old dude off of the what's that Divorce in the Black.
oh.
He's like, you knew he was in shit. I'll be up there. Yes, don't ask me if I be was a pastor. Don't ask me to go testify. I mean, to give the impact statements, especially when it come down to no, I ain't about no. I'm gonna be honest. Like, yeah, I knew, yeah. I did, yeah. I saw the evil in the little nigga eyes back when he was younger. I knew he did this. I ain't about to
And
lie.
y'all convicted him. They said he's guilty. Don't get up there lying. Like you said, on Murder in the Black, he was like, nah. He was like, now y'all know good and well.
No, yeah. What's the name of that family? The Brumstrums, what's their name? Man,
I
that
don't
movie was
remember the
good though.
name.
I ain't gonna lie. I
Yeah,
watched
that
that
was
movie
a good
twice.
movie. So Antoinette, she went to trial September 5th of 1995, and she had the same judge as Rogers. So the defense has subpoenaed 39 witnesses. They subpoenaed them, and not a single witness showed up because they said they wasn't getting caught up in this bullshit. You was not about to get them on the stand and get them to lie. No,
Damn. I thought when they subpoenaed you, you had to come.
you do.
That's crazy, man. That's about 39 people, and they like, man, I ain't y'all shit.
Every single one of them said, "Fuck that! I'm not coming." They don't care of the consequences. They wasn't coming. That says a lot because they were supposed to testify for her.
No, that says a lot. That
That
hell
says
yeah, that
a
says a
lot.
lot. Yeah.
Yeah.
Damn.
So her trial did last 8 days, and the jury deliberated for 22 minutes.
Man, they ain't even deliberate. It took them that much time for them to go in and get the seats and get the paper. You know what I'm saying? They didn't even deliberate. They was
They didn't even
already
have time to talk about they was gonna eat for lunch.
yes. I ain't even enough time to see who wanted subs or they wanted to go ahead and go to the Chinese restaurant and get some jumbo. Oh no, they down New Orleans, so they had jumbo and crawfish.
Yeah, they didn't even have time to do that. And they declared her guilty. So she then went for the penalty phase. And Antoinette's mother and grandmother both spoke on her behalf. And they both stated how she was a good child growing up and they never had any issues. Well, if you getting beat black and blue and raped, I mean, I'm not trying to be funny, but what she was probably so damn scared to breathe, she wouldn't be acting a fool. Duh. So, but she had never been in trouble before. So the jury went out to deliberate and they went out. This time they went out for 45 minutes. So this
Oh
time they
yeah,
probably did order
yeah.
lunch.
This time they did. Yeah, they did.
Yeah, they ordered lunch, and they came back with a unanimous death penalty verdict.
Damn, you guilty as hell. They taking like these. Did you even add that? In 1 hour, it took them an hour to declare her guilty and do a death penalty.
Literally an hour
Yes,
for two totally two like you
two
guilty and
totally
then
different. Yes, that's what I'm
yes,
saying. It took them an
like
hour.
you literally just have somebody's life in your hands, and it took y'all 45 minutes to be like, "Yep, go ahead and fry the bitch. Let's do this. What we
Let her
eat for lunch."
fry. Let her fry. Mm,
So remember, we said that Antoinette's father had disappeared in 1993, and she filed that missing persons report.
yep.
So in November of 1995, I don't know why they had went back to her house since she'd already been convicted, but I don't know. A cadaver dog led police to a human skull that had a bullet wound in it, and it was found underneath her house.
You know what? That's the only thing I agree with her doing. I ain't been mad at her. I what?
I mean, no, I'm not mad at her. I mean,
Oh, I about to say you got a problem with
I don't like
yes, yes.
killing people, but I'm just saying, like, I mean, I understand, but why would you hide it in
Man,
your
look,
house?
I don't I look, okay. Know what I'm saying? I'm not saying you gotta kill her, but if you do, that would be the one person that I would be like, you know what? I get it. I get it. Know what I'm saying? You didn't torture fan, you doing booby traps and know what I'm saying? So,
Threatening our lives at a damn
yeah, at the railroad
railroad
tracks and
crossing.
you didn't get your daughter pregnant and everything like that. Yeah, bullet to the head sounds about right. I ain't even mad.
So they believe that it's the skull of her father, but since she was already on death row, the police made no effort to look into the situation further or even try her for her father's death. I guess they felt like he was fucked up too, so whatever.
No, 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 that's just the police in New Orleans. Obviously, they don't do shit. They're like, "Yeah, we good. Don't worry about it. You're dead anyway."
So, in 2005, Hurricane Katrina, remember, hit New Orleans. And at this time, Antoinette was in prison at Angola, one of the absolute worst prisons in the country. Oh my God, that prison is freaking disgusting.
Mhm.
And in October of 2006, her attorneys went before Louisiana Supreme Court, finding that her death conviction should be overturned because the state denied state funded experts to help prepare for the sentencing phase. So the jury never heard about the traumatic childhood events she had suffered. She had been diagnosed with PTSD as well as a narcissistic personality disorder with antisocial tendencies while in prison. I think the psychiatrist probably said that before they hired her on the force. So I just don't think it's y'all fault.
Yeah. Yeah. Dumbass.
Um, and then on May 22nd of 2007, the Louisiana Supreme Court voted 5-2 that the death penalty should be upheld. So April 22nd of 2008, District Judge Frank Marullo signed her death warrant for death by lethal injection and scheduled it for July 15 of 2008. In May of 2008, the Louisiana Supreme Court issued a 90-day stay of execution effective June 10, 2008, pending appeals.
All right, so September 11, 2008, a new death warrant was signed by the same judge and scheduled for a lethal injection for December 8th, 2008. Antoinette attorneys filed another appeal arguing that they had too little time to review records before the deadline. The state ruled in her favor. Oh man, she get damn luck. And on November 25th, 2008, the death warrant was voided. In September 2009, so that's a year later, Antoinette's attorney moved to have Judge Morello removed from her ongoing post conviction appeals on grounds of bias, as he had already signed two warrants for her. So in January of 2010, the court ruled that he would not be removed. Then, about what 9, 10 months later, in October, it was ruled that Morello had to be recused because it was unclear if he had been open with the defense team about his own connection to the gun used in the murders. So it just so happens that his signature. Now, what's the odds of this, right? Well, obviously, I don't know. Maybe they only had a couple judges because they did have the same judge. So maybe it's a small area or whatever. But his signature was on an order authorizing Antoinette taking a gun from the evidence room. The judge claimed the signature was forged.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, you did that
You
shit.
just crooked.
Yeah,
That's
but
it.
no, I don't even think it's crooked. I just think that a lot like these like if so, okay, if it's me, if I'm a judge and say for you want me off the case, take me off the case. I'm not about to fight to be on the case. It ain't that serious. It's so many like they take shit like that personal. Know what I'm saying? So I bet you he probably would follow everything he could to stay on that case or whatever. They take shit like that personal, man. I don't know why. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I just look. I don't even care. I signed it 2 times. Y'all didn't kill that bitch yet. It is what it is. Bye. I mean, crawfish.
I can't stand you sometimes. Not y'all
Mhm.
ain't kill that bitch so bad. Oh, okay. And so in July of 2015, a judge, Michael Kirby, threw out Rogers' conviction and sentence and ordered a completely new trial. So by this time, he's already been in jail, what, almost 10 years? And he said that Rogers deserved a new trial because one of the jurors hid the fact that he was a Louisiana state trooper and had previously worked as a railroad policeman. And at the time, commissioned law enforcement officers were legally banned from sitting on juries. But even with Rogers being granted a new trial, he was still found guilty for a second time. This time, instead of the death penalty, he did receive
Life.
without the possibility of parole. And this was on December 13th of 2019.
Man, that's what I'm saying, man. It's yeah, the voodoo gods of New Orleans must be in their favor, and because geez, they getting lucky. So in 2021, Antoinette petitioned for clemency from the governor of Louisiana. In her clemency letter, she wrote, "I ache to the core of my being for the victims, their loved ones, and everyone who has been infected by this horrific tragedy that occurred at the Kim Ha restaurant in 1995." Don't do that. That's how you say it. To date, Only 2 people in Louisiana have been granted clemency from the death penalty since 1976. Her attorney said that she has been in solitary confinement for 27 years. That she is by herself for 27 years, separated from the general population. That in itself is torture.
It will literally cause you to
Yeah, to
go
flip out,
crazy.
yeah, it's like, you're the only person, the only you get to see, people for a second when they come in and take you out, like, the police officers, but you have no, contact with anybody else for 27 years, man, and the bitch deserve every one of them years she's in there. So she had no access to in-person classes, she has received death threats and sexual humiliation. I wonder what they mean by that.
That's what I wondered too.
Alright, so Cuvu,
Quack.
Quavu,
They said you.
who became a civil engineer, submitted a letter to the board opposing clemency. He said he still suffered from nightmares, anxiety attacks, despite it being almost 30 years later. I wouldn't doubt that. The Williams family said that it was absurd to even consider her request, and I
I'm
agree
with them
with her.
on that one. I ain't gonna hold you. I'm with them.
Yeah, I would definitely. Yeah, that is absurd. Like absurd. Like, why would he? Yes, know what I'm saying. But I mean, she gonna try it anyway. So in
Yeah,
October 2023, Antoinette went before the board for clemency. Hers was one of 5 cases at the time. It felt on a 2-2 vote. Who was the 2 bitches that said yes? That's what I want to know.
I don't know.
But it was denied. Her clemency was denied. She is still on death row, awaiting a death date. She is the only woman on death row in the state of Louisiana, man. And let me just real quick say, I know Louisiana has one. It's got the most crookedest judicial system in the world. Like, do you know they're the only state where like if it's 12 jurors on the case, if 10 of them say guilty and the other
Yes,
2, yeah, say 2,
yes.
they're guilty. That's
Mm-hmm.
crazy. It's not a
Yeah,
mistrial
it's
or
not
anything
like that
like that.
anywhere else but in Louisiana.
Yes, I learned that from I listened to that story Mac from No
Yes,
Limit.
yes,
Oh,
yes. That's when I found that out too. Yes.
yes, 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 yeah, from Mac from No Limit. Yeah.
Yeah, they did. They did him dirty.
Oh,
They did
dirty as
him
hell,
real
man.
dirty.
Yeah, dirty as hell. He out though. He out though.
Yeah,
Shout out
but
to
the
Mac.
sad thing about it is he's out, but his name is still not cleared.
No, his name ain't King. He old as hell, so he can't even rap no more like they used to. This nigga came out to about broken glass everywhere. If it,
He was probably practicing in jail. He probably was.
this nigga came out rapping like he did when he went in, like, dude, things changed, dog.
You are so aggravating. So anyway, Rogers is now 48 and he's still serving his time at the David Wade Correctional Facility, and he has still been applying for his appeals to be heard. His family has set up several GoFundMe accounts and change.org petitions. They still believe in his innocence and are insisting that it was not him at the restaurant, but that it was Antoinette's brother who was her accomplice. So y'all tell me them people lied about what they saw?
No, stop it. He admitted he was there though.
Remember, he said he was coerced and was threatened.
Yeah. Oh,
And
that's right. That's
then
right. But
people
no,
knew who her brother was, and they said it was not him.
no, man, that's yeah.
Like they identified him. Like I get they were traumatized, and no, they were probably he was probably like they trying to say like they think all black people look alike. No, I don't want to hear that mess because we all
Yeah.
don't look alike.
I mean, they eye wasn't squinted that low because they Vietnamese and
Oh my god. So anyway, they believe it was Antoinette's brother Adam who was her accomplice. Strike that from the record. We're not accepting what you just said. And his mother claims that he did not have the mental capacity to commit such a crime because his IQ was only 81, which means basically he's dumb as hell. Okay, but okay,
that don't
it
mean
reads.
nothing. I know a lot of retarded niggas that be killing. Like, I'm
I'm
not
just
even trying, like, real talk, even look, they say the mental age was between 9 and 12-year-old, right? Of,
mhm.
IQ was 71. Yeah, 9 and 12-year-olds be killing now.
That is true. That
Like,
is
real
true.
talk, so you can't that means nothing at all. Yeah, he just
Well,
a
she said that he was too dumb to do it because that also means he has borderline intellectual functioning
I
range.
would be kinda offended by that, like, "Bitch, you don't think I could kill somebody? I'm that slow?" You trying to tell me that I'm that slow that I can't kill nobody? Oh,
That's sometimes
bother.
you just gotta go ahead and roll with it
You
because
got to, like, dude, you so let me quit because the joke okay. After the murders, the Vu family kept the restaurant open for a decade until Hurricane Katrina came. They dealt with post-storm looting and jewelry that they had kept for from Ha and Chong from the night they were murdered. After Kwok and Nugget sold that location and reopened the Haraha, the LA Louisiana Officer Williams, remember the one who got killed also, name has been inscribed on memorial walls at the National Law Enforcement Officers Memorial in DC.
and that is the case of Antoinette Frank and Rogers LaCaze.
And with that said, drop it.
Okay, so we're gonna do something a little bit different for Love, Lies, and Alibis today. So we know that Hurricane Milton just hit, and my prayers really go out to everyone that is in Tampa, Florida, and the surrounding areas because that was so scary. I was on TikTok like scared out of my mind, except for y'all ones that was out there acting a plumb damn fool,
Black folks
playing
gonna
Michael
love y'all for
Jackson
yes.
in the freaking hurricane.
And niggas will be niggas. I will tell you that
We don't
now.
take shit seriously. I
We
saw a
don't
man
a damn
earlier.
they talk about a category 5 and y'all niggas out there trying to do TikToks.
Man, I just saw a man this morning. He was on an air mattress playing around the water, talking about with a background song, talk about I'm still alive. I was like, y'all can't take shit
God
serious.
damn. Yes, man. That's yes. Know what I'm saying? Yes, and then but my boy Officer Dan survived. He
Yes, he
survived.
did. I was
Yes.
like, you see what they done said about Officer Dan? Like the guy had promised him like $100,000
Yes,
for a
yes.
new boat, but then it came back that he's had like a lot of his criminal past is like really bad. But then they're also alleging that that guy only did it because he thought he wasn't gonna live, which is very messed up if that's the case.
I'm still alive. That's black folks ain't shit. Good Lord, we
We
can't
don't
take
take
nothing
shit
serious,
seriously as
man.
a people.
How
We
would that
do
be
not.
more like me? I'm very serious with the stuff that I do. I don't make jokes out of everything. You know what I'm saying?
That's a lie.
Yeah. All right. So what's up with the love line? So all right, we
So,
gotta do it right
but
now.
overall,
Love, Lies, and Alibis.
yeah. So overall, what really bothered me about like this hurricane situation, what do they do with the inmates? So I started digging because I went back to Katrina and we said that, Antoinette was in, and what was it, Angola
Angola,
at the
Angola.
time of Katrina. And I mean, it broke my heart. I listened to account of another man who was in prison at the time of Katrina. So basically, they left those prisoners to die. They literally locked them in their cells. They said they threw them a bag of water and some food, whatever was left around. They threw them some food. They did not have any toilet paper, and they left them. And the commissioner, if they gave them orders that if they tried to escape, to shoot them. That is inhumane. Like that
Y-
bothered me so bad because when they and they said like after the hurricane was over, they said they were missing almost 600 inmates. Now imagine you're in prison, you haven't been convicted yet, you in there on a bullshit ass weed charge or something stupid.
And they lock you in the cell and be there like, yep, you're on your
And
own, brother.
leave you. They said that water was waist high.
But yeah, even now with the one that just hit, was that Hurricane Milton? Was it
Hmm.
Milton? Yeah, they said yeah, they what they call it, they shelter in place. That's what they call it. They shelter in place with the prison. So they don't move the prisoners, whatever. And the crazy part about that is you gotta realize, look, there's some prisoners that I'm sorry, deserve the worst. I like the people, especially molesters, rapists, and know what I'm saying? Like, know what I'm saying? Unnecessary killings, like just, brutal murderers. I'm sorry, it is, you deserve it. But at the same time, it's still individuals in there that's in there for bullshit. Know what I'm saying? Where an accident could have happened, whatever the case may be.
But
And
the
they
thing
live.
is, at the end of the day, they're still humans. You can't.
Yes,
I'm
you're
not.
right.
And I get. Okay, so we had. Okay, and I get that there's only a few days prepared, but you have a few days. I'm not trying to be funny. Y'all is rescuing dogs. They were putting dogs on planes to get them out. These are still people.
Look, they don't care. I mean, and that's just so sad. Like in reality, excuse me, I didn't realize until like we were talking and we got to we remember we was having a conversation. We like, well, damn, what do they do with the prisoners? And that's when we started doing a little research, knowing that they actually will they just leave them in there. And so not only do they leave them in there, but then the actual workers get to leave.
Yes, the
People,
workers can
yeah,
leave,
the
but they
workers
said
get
that
to leave.
some of the workers they said in during Katrina that didn't leave, they said they were beating those inmates, like they were just doing whatever. Like
Man, when
these
y'all going through a hurricane and the first thing you think about it beating the inmate, use a crew as like it ain't like, man, because you can only imagine the screaming, the hollering, the crying of them prisoners like, let me out. Oh my goodness,
Like
man.
you literally locked them in a cell and you gave them absolutely no chance. No chance. And I can't I just can't get with that. Like it's so it's just fucked up. Like that like bothered me. I'm like, y'all are evacuating the dogs. And I'm not saying that pets are not important, but they're not
Man,
people.
fuck
Okay.
them dogs and cats, man. I ain't trying to be funny. We talk about humans, yes. But we live in a society where they care more about animals than they do regular humans and everything.
They
You
do
think
like
about it. Look at the whole Springfield situation. Know what I'm saying? People went them white folk went crazy when they thought they was eating dogs and cats.
that only the Trump supporters believe they were eating dogs and cats. Okay.
Yes.
The rest of the us logical people, we were over
We
here
knew
like
that
that's
we knew
not
it was the
happening.
Haitians. We knew it's the Chinese people that do that shit. Damn.
Now, okay, so it's this one restaurant that it's not there no more, but it was this one restaurant in Twinsburg and it was a Chinese buffet. And me and my ex best friend, we used to go there all the time. Like that was our spot because it was right down the street from her job. And it really did, like it had came out on the news that they really was snatching the
Yeah,
cats and
man, no,
dogs
they
out the
do.
area.
They
And
be
I was like, we've been eating. Well, shit, it was good.
yeah, hey, look, like that was
It was
good
good.
in Labrador right there. Goddamn. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
So
our prayers do go out. Real talk. Our prayers go out to the people in general. I mean the anybody that was affected by Hurricane Milton. And definitely the family members who have the people who have family members that are incarcerated, and you can only imagine what they're going through, knowing that their brother, sister, uncle, father, whoever is in jail, and this is going on, and you can't do shit about it, man. That's
yeah, because I was watching another account where this guy said that they did tell them that they were going to shelter in place, but then they did end up, like he said, it was another hurricane he was speaking of, but he said they did end up moving them, which I guess is a safety measure, but they don't move everybody. I think they said we're like 9,000 inmates in Tampa, but they were only able to move like 2,000. That's still 7,000 people.
yeah, man. Let them folks
That's a
go.
lot of
If
people.
you gonna do, yeah, let them,
And
let them
then
those freedoms.
I mean, like, and I'm not saying let them out. I'm not saying let them out because you don't
Oh,
know
okay.
what the hell you're letting out into society. But I'm just saying that there needs to be a plan. There needs to be something else because these are still humans. These are still
But
people.
nobody's gonna talk about it. So again, nobody's gonna mention that. Like I'm telling you right now, there's nobody advocating for them. Like real talk. Like who really gonna be? Nobody's advocating for prisoners or nothing. So nobody, they're not gonna do anything because people don't care. People ain't even talking about that. I guarantee you, it's people that probably even thought about that until if they choose to listen to the podcast or whatnot, that they probably didn't even realize until we just said something like, "Well, damn, you're right. What happened to the prisoners?" Like I didn't realize about the New Orleans until we started doing. I'm like, damn, like they really did leave them niggas in the jail to die.
And this one guy was saying how he was like, he was in another hurricane. I think it was in Florida years ago, but he was like, they don't even give you toilet paper. He like they lock you down. He's like, you don't even have toilet paper. He's like, so think about that. If you have your ankle waist or waist high water, He like, you got to use whatever your sheets, whatever. He like, and then what do you do with them? You throw them out into the water. So now you have this feces infested water. It's bacteria in that water. What happens? Like you said, he said they give you a bag of water, like a
No,
bag.
that's a real shitty situation.
So what if you drink it and you have nothing to drink? You know what I'm saying? Like what? Like it's real out here, and I'm just like, I just have no words. I'm like, at the end of it, all I can think of was like, there's still people too.
Yeah, so we're gonna pray for him. Yeah, we definitely keep you guys in your prayers. And if you got any family members that were if you have any family, if anybody is listening from Florida or even doing the New Orleans and you got family members that actually went through that, man, hey, hit us up on our Instagram, DM us and let us know. We just curious to see what procedures or processes they had for this.
Shit, none with they sorry asses. Well, anyway, that is our case for today. So
Mhm.
we hope you enjoyed it. Um, don't cancel us because my best friend is ignorant, please. Jesus.
Yes, and make sure you guys go on the GoFundMe for Khadijah Brown. I'm telling you, even after 300 episode, we are going to always mention her. We're going to keep her name alive for people to go back and listen to the episode of Khadijah Brown, to hear everything. We're not going to go through the semantics right now, but just make sure that you listen to the episode and to GoFundMe, make sure that you donate. If you know any other resources that can help to assist her or assist her with her getting a sentence reduction or even assist her mother with getting grandparents' rights to see her grandchildren, please let us know. We do appreciate it. We're going to keep on yelling to the top of the mountains, to the hilltops, wherever, anywhere we can um, to get her the help that she desperately needs.
Yes. And as well as don't forget to share this with your friends and family and everybody you know, and that man that's on the street that you pass every day when you get your coffee. Tell him too. And don't forget to follow us on social media. We're on Instagram at Melanin Mysteries Pod and TikTok and Facebook Melanin Mysteries Podcast. And we
Mhm.
appreciate you listening. And before I close this out, you got anything else to say, sir?
No, but we gonna go out with some good old New Orleans music. So
So always remember that love should not come with a life sentence. So make sure you choose freedom and not felonies.
mm.